Welcome back to Garbage Time. I'm a bit under the weather, so sorry if my voice is a little extra nasally this week. It's my flu game, but we got a jam-packed episode for you. As always, we're going to be talking about the Suns and their current woes. Kawhi is back. Current state of the Clippers. Derrick Rose, his jersey will be retired. Thunder-Celtics.
It was retired. Oh, it's going to be retired. You're right.
Yeah. Thunder-Celtics had a duel. We'll talk about that. And the Pistons are looking good for a team in a rebuild. But Dan's wearing a Suns jersey. I believe it's a Devin Booker jersey. They're playing the 76ers right now as we record this. They are in a tough state right now. So, Dan, how do you feel about the Suns present day?
Blow it up. It's over. It's over.
Really? Is that dire for you?
I mean, all right, let's keep it a buck. We probably didn't have a great shot at winning a title anyway this year, even if everyone was playing decently. This roster construction is very bad.
Like I feel like it works on paper, besides Bill, but like we have all the positions.
That's
filled.
a $50 million if though, or but.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we're kind of like entering this era in the NBA where for a while it was possible, but it is no longer really possible to build like an elite team through trade and free agency anymore. It's all around draft. Like draft capital's got to be at an all-time high value. And I almost would rather keep Bradley Beal at this point and retain any draft capital we have left than ditch whatever second round and 2031 first round picks for Jimmy Butler just to have one less year of Beal.
Would you trade? Who is the person you would not trade no matter what on the Suns team?
My lord, my liege, the GOAT, Devin Booker.
Yeah, of course. I will literally stop watching. I will stop being a Suns fan if Book ever leaves the Suns. Like
I feel like the Suns should not trade Dunn either. I think he is such a great piece unless we can get like insane value for him.
But like, what happens if you end up? I mean, I know you all want to trade Beal. Everyone wants to trade Beal. Do you trade Durant and then keep Booker? Like you said, blow it up. Like, is that
it depends what value we could get. Like,
yeah,
if you're giving me like 4 seconds and
like
Kyle Kuzma for Kevin Durant, like no, I'm not doing that. But if I get like a first out of it and like and maybe a second with the player, sure.
May I introduce you to the Houston Rockets?
Yeah, no, that's a great transition.
Sure.
I was I don't know how the salaries would match up, but like let's say you get Tari Eason, Jabari Smith, sorry.
Give me Jabari Parker too. Let's go.
Jabari Smith and a first for KD. Would you take that?
That's too little draft capital.
Okay, a first in 2 seconds.
And Tari Eason and
Jabari Smith, yeah.
Yeah, I'd take that.
Probably would too.
You're going to need to get like Van Vliet or one of the high salary guys.
Yeah, for it to work out.
Oh, that would suck. The only thing worse than the Suns as they are today is having to watch Van Vliet in a Suns jersey.
Dylan Brooks.
I do think the Suns, like, they should be good. Like, I know like Beal's a big whatever, but it's like you have all the pieces you think to win the title. Like you have a good point guard, Book Durant, Dunn's a great wing. Nurkic is like mid, but like it shouldn't be this bad.
I know, I agree. I don't know what the problem is. I think it's really just vibes. I think it really is just vibes. And like Nurk's vibes and Beal. I just don't think he can like not be a star. Like I think it could actually work if he came off the bench, but he after not being benched ever, like I don't think he can do that, and the vibes are still intact.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at our schedule over the last, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're 3-7 in our last 10, and
it's really bad.
5 and 10 in our last 15.
It's really bad.
We are so bad. 1, 2, we have what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 7 wins since November 12th.
Really bad.
It's really January 6th.
It's really bad.
Oh my gosh.
Does Jimmy Butler fix this?
It's like
Cam, what do you think?
I
Does Jimmy Butler fix the Suns?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Um, I mean, you need a three-team deal to work it. I know we talked about a bunch of these in the pod in the past, like how we would make that trade work. I don't know if it's going to work. The market for Jimmy seems pretty low. The market for Beal is non-existent. Like if he does get traded, he's going to
Mm,
end up on a non-contender who's just like eating the salary and taking
yeah.
picks on.
Yeah.
I think it could work, but it's going to be harder to do. And then even if the Suns were to get Butler, I don't think that fixes the problem, the culture, the rotation, just the general vibes. Just think the vibes would still be off.
Is it like is this like a KD book issue? What is the vibes issue? I can't figure it out. Dan, what do you think?
it, it kind of seems to I mean it's like half true, half not, like where it feels like there's not very clear roles on this team and everyone is not buying into their role if they do think they have
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, you're
Like
right.
I feel like Nurk is the wrong guy for the job. He's better than Aiton was though, so I'll take that.
It's true.
Um
The vibes
Ryan
are
Dunn's a
better
rook.
somehow.
Yeah, so somehow our center position got better. We've got the treasurer as our backup, so I would like I do like the move of starting Plumlee because I feel like he's a guy that's just going to go out there, shoot 4 times, and get you 20 rebounds or try
Totally.
to. Like
Yeah.
I just think we don't have clearly defined roles between Book and KD of who's going to do what. Like
Yeah.
they're both score first guys. They're both a little bit more ball dominant. Book doesn't come off screens very well, and I want Tyus Jones ball handling. Like that doesn't really synergize very well, for lack of a better word.
No, for sure. Yeah. I guess the best case scenario is they like find their footing like Brown and Tatum did and you know can trade off being the guy. But you're right, the roster construction is not the same as the Celtics is in terms of clearly defined roles.
Yeah. I'm becoming convinced it's not worth keeping a superstar after like they're 30 or 31. Like
Yeah, I think you're right.
I feel like it's just not the same.
I agree. Okay, let's keep it in the West and talk about the Clippers. Clippers are in an interesting spot right now because they're currently
They're beating up on the Wolves early.
Tied with a bunch of people.
they're
Carolina.
seventh. They're tied for seventh in the West. They're doing all right. They've lost to the Thunder. They've lost to the Spurs, but they beat the Hawks. They've beaten the Warriors, Pelicans, Grizzlies. So it's an interesting team. I saw a lot of rumblings that like Kawhi and Paul George have like messed up the vibes, and without them, everything's good. Cam, what do you think?
Yeah, so they're tied for seventh. They're half a game out of fourth, and they're 2.5 games or 3 games out of second, which is the Rockets, who we all know are complete frauds.
Yep.
I like the Clippers. I think the Clippers behind, obviously, we talked about OKC. They're by far the best. Other than OKC, I could see the Clippers taking this as much as anyone else could. I really like the team construction. I think Norman Powell and Harden having scorers who are guards to take pressure off of Kawhi as a scorer. I really like Derrick Jones Jr. We all love that guy. He's a great defender.
Mediocre
Zubac, criminally underrated center, Zubac. I just
Yeah.
think people are writing them off because of PG and the horrible vibes that were going on there. Kawhi's a winner. He's always been good in the playoffs when he's healthy. Harden has had some success in the playoffs. They win that title that year if Chris Paul doesn't get injured. Everyone knows this. Yeah, behind the Thunder, I really like the Clippers in the West, assuming Kawhi can stay healthy and look okay out there.
You think they're the second best team in the West?
I wouldn't know if I'd go that far, but in the playoffs, I think they could beat anyone else. I'll say that.
Kyle, how do you feel about the Clippers?
They're really good. Like I've been very impressed watching them play. They beat my Kings up twice pretty well. I think everything Cam said is just true. I think they kind of remind me a lot. It is like been like Harden on the Rockets a little bit with like Harden with a bunch of like athletic shooters that play defense. Like he's in, I think, his element right now without having to deal with Paul George. Like
Yeah.
I think Harden's been unlocked. I think he's like a lot happier and playing better. And yeah, I mean they just have like great players in a role all across everywhere.
Yeah,
They
I think
do
you
lots
need.
good, yeah.
I think from these past two scenarios, maybe you just need one true star a second fiddle who's really good, but not a star. And then obviously you have to have all the right pieces around them that know their role. I think that's the key to a championship. Like Nuggets, Jokic is a star. Jamal Murray that year was very good, but not, I wouldn't call him a star, and everyone else knows the role. Same with Celtics. I would say Tatum is a star.
Jaylen Brown's a star.
Very good.
Jason Tatum is very good.
That's right. That's right. I think that's probably the Suns' problem. They have two stars, and Bradley Beal thinks he's a star. Okay. Let's go to the East, or I guess West East. Thunder played the Celtics. Thunder beat them pretty handily. It was 105-92. They cooked them in the fourth quarter, 29 points for the Thunder versus 12 for the Celtics. Tatum had 26. Brown had 21. Everyone else had under 20. Thunder, Shea had 33, 11, and 6. And kind of just the points were spread out evenly. They put Lou Dort on Jaylen Brown in the second half, and he did not score. So, I mean, I called it to my own horn a few weeks ago that Thunder are the only team that could beat the Celtics in a series, and they beat them last night. Dan, do you think they're for real, the Thunder, or is this just a regular season game?
No, they're definitely for real. I mean, I think they're like the 1B team in the league, if not 1A. Celtics being the other team, unfortunately. But I mean, they're like the perfectly constructed team. Like just like we were saying, like Shea is their superstar. They've got a bunch of really good role players like Alex Caruso, Lou Dort that just fill their role really, really well. And then they've got young, hungry guys that are, willing to go out there, throw their bodies around, but do what they want. Jalen Williams is very good. Jalen Williams is not very good, but he's on the bench mostly. I mean, and plus they have still a ton of draft capital. Like the management of that team has been so impressive over the last like 5-6 years. I envy the city of Oklahoma City for the first time ever.
That's all they got. That's all they got over there. Literally.
It is literally the only thing over there.
Green. Cam, are you high on the Thunder?
Yeah, no, I just think that 15-game win streak they've rattled off is a complete fluke. I mean, no, of course, I'm high on the Thunder. I am not. I mean, again, Chet has to come back. That's really the big thing for me. How is Chet going to be integrated into this team?
Yeah.
They look great with Hartenstein. The offense looks good, other than that NBA Cup Finals where the Bucks got them. Yeah. I think we just got to see what happens when Chet comes back. Is he going to be able to integrate in that team? Can they play the two of them together? Do the vibes stay the same? Does he want the ball too much? What does that look like? And one more thing before we move on, the Cavs could take the Celtics in a 7-game series. I'll put that out there. You guys need to put the Cavs in that conversation.
Like
They're 31-4.
Yeah.
So
they've beaten them. They've beaten the Celtics this year. I think they've split their 2 games. Do you think the Bucks beating the Thunder was more of like an effort thing by the Thunder, like a young team in Vegas, or do you think that it's like a matchup issue? Okay.
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, I think Giannis definitely had a chip on his shoulder coming into that game. He's a tough matchup for any team that doesn't, have LeBron or someone like that, like someone who's able to handle him.
Yeah.
And there's very few who are. So part of it is matchup. Part of it's just luck. I mean, they shot pretty bad during that game.
Yeah.
Like you're bound to have that, especially today's NBA. It's harder for a team to dominate and win every single game because some nights you just don't hit your threes. The Celtics are the same way. Like last year, they'd lose by 20, like randomly to some like 8-seed team.
Yeah.
I feel like they lost to like the Bulls in the regular season or something like that. Just in a 3-point game when you're shooting that much, the variance is going to get you at some point. So it's part of that, but also a tough matchup.
Al, do you think the Kings could beat the Thunder in a 7-game series?
Of course. I wouldn't bet against the Kings. No.
I
think the Thunder are really good. But like the sniff test of the Thunder winning the finals, I just don't see it.
I kind of feel the same way.
I don't know. Like there's no really analytics besides just like the sniff test of like looking at that team.
Yeah.
Looking at Shea. I just don't see it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I do agree.
I don't know why.
It feels like there's a little too much tomfoolery going on with the foul baiting and everything for like them to win a finals.
Yeah, I mean, just feel like last year they were like again, they weren't quite as good last year, but they were leagues more talented than the Mavericks who beat them. It just felt like I don't know, like if they're gonna have the once it gets to the playoffs, if like teams with like Kawhi's
Yeah.
and Luka's
Yeah.
become a little tougher for them to handle.
I feel like that experience is valuable, though. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
no one expected them to win the finals last year. They need to get their teeth kicked in a little bit to realize,
Sure.
hey, what's this really all about? So now that they're a little bit more battle tested, like, I don't know, man. They're going to be a super interesting team to beat.
I'm also
People
interested to
talking
see like,
about
how they
Shea
work
a lot.
long term too. Like if they, I mean, they feel like the good vibes, like everything. Like it feels like this team will be together for 10 years. Like, but obviously it doesn't
That's
work
what I
out that
said in
way ever.
2021.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
God.
never works out that way. So I'm also interested to see. Like I feel like you always think you have so much time, but you really don't. Like
That's
kind
part of
right now.
what I think against the Thunder's case for finals is like, I feel like they do have that mindset. Like, we're so young, we're bought in, we're going to be together forever. Like, there's no pressure to win a finals, you know? I don't know if that's how they feel, but that's kind of the vibes I get.
I think
No
the Jalen
urgency.
Williams contract, like the next contract he gets, is going to be very determinant to their future.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah, and I was just going to say too, like this reminds me a lot of how people were talking about the Celtics 3 or 4 years ago, and you can see the price of, let's say, if a team decides to go all in and make some moves early. I kind of like it, the fact that they're, for the most part, I mean, Gordon Hayward last year, but they didn't really give up anything. Shout out Trey Man. Other than that, they've really stayed with the core, kept the draft picks, like built the right way. The Celtics in 2017 were like, okay, we're there, let's go for it. Like none of this would have happened. You kind of just have to stay with your team, as we talked about in the earlier segment, like build through the draft, build the right way, have well-defined roles. And I think the Thunder are doing that now. And I hope that Shea can take that next step like Tatum and Brown did eventually and get there. But they're in a similar spot where it seems like it's not working out now.
Yeah.
Like the only exception I could think to that rule is any team that LeBron's won the finals with.
True.
Yeah.
And that's just because he's an absolute freak of nature.
All right, bro.
My
There
glorious
it is.
king.
All right. Keep it in your pants, big dog. All right. Pistons are kind of killing it. Let me pull up.
Emphasis
Stupid
on
team.
kinda.
They have beaten the Wolves, Hornets, Magic,
Don't say who they beat on 26th of December.
Kings,
That was mean.
Lakers, Suns, and they lost to the Nuggets. But otherwise, those were their past 7 games since December 21st. That's a very impressive run. I don't know how they just flipped a switch. Ivy's even been out, and they're still cruising.
That might be the
It's a
difference
positive.
maker.
Yeah, there you go.
honestly, yeah.
No,
So I've seen a lot of rumblings that the Pistons should go for like a win now piece, which seems insane. But Dan, do you believe in the Pistons right now?
Right now?
No.
No.
Okay.
Of course I don't believe in them. They do have one of the best coaching staffs in the NBA, though. Shout out Luke Walton, Jarrett Jack, and Vitaly Potapenko. No, these guys need, like, they're 3 years away, I think, from being like a legit team.
3 years away from being 2 years away.
They're 1 year away from being 2 years away right now, for sure.
Okay.
They've got great pieces in Cade. I think Jalen Duren's great. Asar Thompson's fine, not definitely as great as Amen.
True.
Good bench piece in Isaiah Stewart. Shout out Marcus Sasser. So
What
I
do they
think
need?
they need a few more.
What do they need?
Everything. Talent.
Just talent, yeah. Someone besides Cade, yeah.
Yeah, they just need to go into each draft going best available guy. Like,
Yeah.
take a power forward, replace Tobias Harris, get Tim Hardaway Jr. away from a basketball court. And like Simone Fontecchio, despite having a fantastic name, is not going to be a long-term solution. Like, you have holes everywhere.
I
Like,
think
just
they
fill them.
need like an efficient score, like an upgrade at the Ivy position.
Dude,
Could be Beal.
Cade's
Could be Beal.
Gilgeous Alexander. He's basically Shea.
He's amazing. I'm a big Cade
He's
fan.
really good.
He's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, Ben loves Cade for sure. I hate this front office. I've hated this front office since the last time they were good because why on this team do you have Malik Beasley, Tobias Harris, and Tim Hardaway Jr.? Like, why are you paying those guys money to get you more wins, to get you worse draft picks?
Yeah.
But really, you have one superstar. I'm coming around on Cade this year. He's looked excellent. Like Asar and Jalen Duren, Ron Holland. Like, I haven't seen anything there that's like a superstar. I know they could be something, but like, you're not ready to say, okay, let's go for it. Why are you paying those guys?
I think it's
you're the
literally
worst place you want to be.
I think it's literally just to appease Cade. Like, Cade was so fucking mad about losing all the time last year, and he's a franchise guy. I think the front office needed to get him some semblance of some pieces.
Now they're only losing half the time.
Yeah, 17, 18.
He looks happier, though.
Like,
you can't deny it. He looks happier. Like, they're winning
Malik
games.
Beasley's awesome. He's so good at shooting.
He actually is
unbelievable.
Good.
Beasley's, he's crazy.
He could be an all-star if he ended up in the right situation, but he's never ended up in that right situation.
Yeah.
That is a kind of crazy take, but
he'd be a sneaky all-star in a random team.
Like Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins,
like
Make-A-Wish.
Nothing will ever happen like that Hawks team ever again. That is the most ridiculous set of all-stars that's ever happened.
Player of the week.
No, but you have to pay guys because you need to have trade salary. And you can't be like so far into the salary cap. So you just have to sign guys. That's what Van Vliet is. He's just a big ass trade piece on the Rockets. That just told to stay until they need to trade guys.
Yeah, they just feel not there. They're always in this weird no man's land to me. The Rockets at least waited, like they were getting top picks for a while and had a few of them. And Jabari didn't even work out, and they still have enough talent to be able to make that next step.
Sure. They drafted really well.
Really on the staff.
Reed Shepard, baby.
He's on this loot
G League Shepard now.
I didn't see that.
Lead assistant Luke Walton. Nope.
All right. Let's talk about Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose, his jersey will be retired. The Bulls announced it. I know in our group text we were comparing Ja and Derrick Rose. Who's better, Ja Morant or Derrick Rose? Kyle, what do you think?
I think Derrick Rose still had a better career. I mean,
let's go. I agree with that.
But I was saying in this group chat that I think Derrick Rose is like his lore is like bigger than he ever was as a player. Like I think if he kept playing, he would have eventually. Like I don't think he'd be thought the way he is today.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like, I like think of it as like kind of similar to Dwight Howard's peak for a few years. But it's like no one talks about Dwight like talk about Derrick Rose. Like Derrick Rose is like talked about like a freaking cult hero.
Yeah. Here's a comparison. He is the Biggie Smalls of basketball. He had a great run, and then he died.
I'd like to apologize to everyone from New York who's just listening.
Everyone is like, oh, what could have been? He could have been the GOAT if he.
I think it's closer to a Lil Peep. Like really brief, super high peak. Like everyone's like, this guy's next, dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except this is ACLs.
Yeah. It was his knee. Yeah, it was his knees that.
I mean, if he makes the Hall of Fame, it's a complete joke. I mean, he is a nostalgia act.
Like, he won an MVP. I think, like, if you win MVP, you deserve Hall of Fame.
Reed.
I think if you win MVP, you deserve Hall of Fame.
He didn't deserve an MVP. Like LeBron was way better than him. Like it was a Mickey Mouse
Cam
MVP.
said it. Cam said it. Not me.
But this happened with Harden and Westbrook too. It happens all the time. And
okay.
Nash Kobe. It's like not just about the stats. It's about like the energy you insert into the league. You know, like Derrick Rose was all that anyone was talking about. Steve Nash was fun to watch. It was like, you know, the shitty Suns team that he really elevated. That's all part of the equation. It's not just fucking 25-7 LeBron in 2011.
I'm with you, Ben, just because the Basketball Hall of Fame is such a joke. Like Michael Cooper got in with 0 All-Stars. So
Defensive Player of the Year, though.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Chauncey Billups got in the Hall of Fame, who's like a glorified Mike Conley. So
NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP.
The LeBron James of
Derrick
Michael
Rose
Conley.
was 5 times the player Chauncey Billups was at his peak when he was playing.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
A lot of Chauncey slander.
Let these guys in. You need to let Derrick Rose in.
I mean, just winning has to count for something. That's the other thing. Like, I know that he was great in the regular season. Like, I can see the argument for him winning the MVP. he never won anything with the Bulls. The Bulls like didn't retire Rodman. Like, he
that's
won
true.
3 titles
That
with
is
them.
kinda
That's
crazy.
true.
A Hall of Fame player. Like, it just feels weird to me. And again, I think it really comes down to the nostalgia aspect of Derrick Rose. Like
Totally.
he was so great for that 1 to 2 year period, and everyone was talking about it. And then he was around for so long, and you'd see him like when you play the Knicks or the Timberwolves, and everyone would be like, "Oh my God, it's Derrick Rose," and he'd score 13 points on mediocre shooting, and
Yeah, he dropped 52
like
that one time.
That was legendary. So did Malachi Flynn, but
he was the most electric player in that period, though, like by a mile. He was the most electric player we saw probably since like Allen Iverson. And that's like, that means something to the game of basketball. It's not just stats.
But Russ was after him.
Yeah, he was after him.
Yeah.
Similar era.
I mean, they overlapped, but
you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. He was the most electric player since AI, and that's a fucking fact. And that I think is worth something.
James, no, it'll come to me.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Since LeBron James in his like rookie sophomore years when he was playing,
when he was taking the Magic to the conference finals and losing,
but it was even different games. I mean, Derrick Rose was so explosive. It felt like gravity didn't exist for him, just like it feels for Ja right now. That was different than LeBron.
What do you think about Zion then? This feels like a Zion.
It's not the same.
I feel like it's exactly the same.
No.
I remember exactly how I felt watching Derrick Rose play, and it was very different than any other player I've ever seen. He could just do anything, bro. His layup package was insane. His dunk package was insane. He still had buzzer beaters, even though he was a mid shooter on the regular. Like, he still had crazy buzzer beaters. He was just he just had aura, bro. The most aura. I'd say like top 10 auras that I've ever seen play in the NBA in our lifetime.
Cool.
Might have to do a draft with that one.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, how can we turn this into something else?
All right. We're going to be back with our locks for tomorrow, which is January 7th. All right, welcome back. We have locks for January 7th, Tuesday. Who's going first? So last week, I got my first win. Let's go.
Good job. We're proud of
you. We did it. Did everyone else take an L?
Yeah.
We did.
Somehow.
The gravity of your win.
Mine was the Hawks spread, I think. Shout out Hawks. Okay. So this week. What are they gonna say now? So who goes first this week?
Mr. Carr.
I do. Yeah.
Daniel.
Because I lost and I'm on a historic losing streak right now. I need to get back in the win column, similar to another team here that does also need to get back in the win column. That's probably a little upset. We're going Celtics -4 against the Nuggets.
Okay.
I like it.
That's an interesting one. It's at Denver, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. Cam, you're up next.
Yeah, so I'm also just a 1-game losing streak for me, but if one team could give you a turnaround, they could give me a turnaround. So I'm going for the Hawks too. Give me the Hawks -5.5 against the Jazz. I think the line is moved because the Hawks have lost 2 in a row, but they've been in LA and they lost to the Lakers and the Clippers, who are both having decent stretches. Lakers getting that bump from DFS and getting Elo off. Clippers, as we talked about. The Jazz have won 2 in a row, but they beat Miami, who had the whole thing with Jimmy Butler in the trade that was like in the middle of it, and Orlando without Paolo and Franz. So I think that's a little inflated too. Give me Hawks -5.5.
I like that. Can't bet against a Hawk. Okay, I'm going with Lakers. Wait, am I up? Or is Kyle?
What about me?
Kyle's up. Kyle's up.
Don't take
I'm going to go with Lakers. No.
Yeah.
No. I am going to go with the Phoenix Suns.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
-2.5?
I see -2.5, but it's like -120. Whatever it is. It's probably like -3, but that's fine.
I'm seeing it -2.5.
I've got 2.5 at 115, so you're fine at 2.5.
Yeah.
Honestly, just take money line because the odds are so bad.
It would be pitiful if we
No.
couldn't beat the Hornets, but we are on like
We're the
this
Phoenix
East Coast road trip,
Suns.
and we're on an East
Yeah.
Coast road trip.
East Coast
No,
road
we're
trip back
doing
to back.
Back to
the
back.
Suns. We're doing the Suns.
Okay, it's
A lot of
bold. I
travel.
like
They're
it.
in Philly tonight. That's a long flight down to Charlotte.
I don't know how I feel about
And
that.
LaMelo's back, but
I like the confidence.
a lot of
He's so
talent. A lot of
bad.
talent.
All right, I'm taking Lakers minus 4.5 against the Mavericks. Kyrie and
Kyrie's
Luka
out 2 weeks.
are out. Kyrie and Luka are out. LeBron and AD are both game time decisions, but they're both probable. Just like some small foot things. I think they should beat them pretty handily.
Lakers team bus is going to get hit on the way to the stadium. LeBron and AD aren't going to play.
Someone's gonna run over LeBron's foot with a car.
Quentin Grimes all-time game. He's going for 35.
DFS starting at point guard.
Is DFS on the Lakers now?
Yes. Yeah.
He's
He's
made
played.
He played last game.
Nice.
6-man.
All right, those are our locks. We're gonna be back with a game hosted by yours truly. Welcome back. The game this week. We are redrafting the historically horrendous 2005 NBA draft. Andrew Bogut was selected first, then Marvin Williams, then Darren Williams. So Kyle is up first. I have the big board here to show them. So it goes Kyle, Dan, then Cam, based on just randomly generated.
I'm gonna go Darren Williams.
I love it. That's based over
At
Chris
his
Paul.
peak, he owned Chris Paul.
Kind of true.
I'm going to go with Chris Paul then.
Point God.
I have no idea if Darren Williams owned Chris Paul. I'm just speaking confidently.
It was a debate between the two of them at their peaks.
Yeah, it was definitely a debate.
D-Will had more aura. For real.
Oh, don't even. Yeah, it's true.
No, we're
That's
Yeah.
very true though.
we're
It's
getting
so true.
we're getting crazy at this point. I mean, I gotta go for Danny Granger, my guy.
He's good. He was good.
I mean,
What's the-
I'm cooked. Like this is a draft I lose just by picking third. So I'm just gonna pick the guys that I like. I'll go David Lee at the 4 too.
There are enough
So
good
good.
names. I feel like this isn't too top heavy of a draft.
Dan has won the draft, and it's not even close. Dan will have the most win shares regardless of who Kyle and I pick. And
I don't know if
the
that's
best
true.
peak season.
I
That
don't
is
know if that's
1 million for y'all hate on Chris Paul so much.
I hate that guy. Just kidding. He led us to the finals. All right, Dan, you're up again.
All right, after Ben's outburst right there, let's give me a guy that I can run the pick and roll with here.
Rose Slokar.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Now, if I'm getting him at his peak, I actually low-key want Andrew Bynum.
I like that a lot. All right, Dan may
What do
have
you mean,
won
like
now.
the easiest pick ever?
He's like Aiden of that era.
Take
100%.
out, take alopecia.
Bogut.
Andrew Bogut. Okay,
The
he
big man.
was good. People, yeah,
He was good. Yeah, he's fine.
you're up again.
He's like basically Zubac of that era.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good comp. I like that.
It's a
comp.
great comp.
Take
and
alopecia.
then- don't think I want him, but I'm thinking.
Luther Head still on the board.
Red.
Like
I'm
Dio.
gonna do Channing Frye, but I'm not gonna do that.
Ian Mahinmi.
There's some names. Gerald
Ben-
Green's
Ben would
on there.
Ben would
Yeah.
take Channing Frye.
Jared Jack.
Von
Give me-
Wafer.
The better version of Charlie
Brandon
Villanueva. Give me Ursan Ilyasova.
Love it. Let's
Whoa.
go, Kyle. That's
Whoa.
he wasn't a king, right?
No, I wish.
He's such a king, but he wasn't. All
Ursan.
right, Dan.
Oh man. Let's see here. Really tempting to take Andre Blatch here. I think I'm gonna pass though. I'll take a dynamic wing and Gerald Green.
That's a great pick. Yeah, Dan won, I think.
Dynamic.
Dan won with the first pick, but we're gonna keep.
You
it
guys are
going.
fumbling picks.
Lemon Pepper Lou, please.
Lou Will? I didn't even
Lou
see
Will.
him in this. That's good. Shit.
He's there. Wait, who are we fumbling if it's not him?
Who on the wraparound? Oh, I
Uh,
see him.
Yeah, give me. We are in the mid 2000s, so I feel like I need a center. Give me the Polish Hammer, please.
Let's go. All
Goat.
right, Cam. Okay, Cam. Okay, Cam. Dan, you're up, bro.
I'm gonna go for. I need some buckets here. Give me Monta Ellis.
Damn it.
These are good teams. I feel like there's parity here.
I needed Monta because I have no bucket getters right now.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Dude, Illy.
He's a modern. I have literally no bucket getters. Okay.
Nate Rob pick incoming.
I'm looking for a bucket getter somewhere here. Let's see.
CJ Miles.
I'm just checking one guy's stats. Give me Marvin Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe better
He
than
was
CJ
serviceable.
Miles, really.
He was serviceable.
Yeah.
Had a long career.
All right, Dan. Final pick.
I need a 4. Bear down. Channing Frye.
Let's go. It's a good team.
No Amir Johnson. How could you?
Yeah, no, I'm going with I'm gonna pass on that one.
This is an easy. I need a point guard. Obviously, Paul and Williams have the most assists, but the third most assists in this class is one Raymond Felton.
Love it.
The big man is coming aboard.
No love for Charlie Villanueva. That's insane. Or Nate Robinson. It's kind of crazy. All right. Final teams. Kyle has Darren Williams, Andrew Bogut, Ersan Ilyasova, Jarrett Jack, and Marvin Williams. Dan has CP3, Andrew Bynum, Gerald Green, Monte Ellis, and Channing Frye. Cam has Danny Granger, David Lee, Lou Will, Marcin Gortat, and Raymond Felton. Let us know who had the best team. I think it's honestly really close.
No, it's not.
It's probably Dan, but it is closer than I thought it would be. He just has a good team build for sure. All right, that's another episode of Garbage Time. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week.